What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be going over the 8 most explosive stocks we're seeing in the market right now. We are seeing some of the craziest upwards movement that we've seen in months. We have stocks like Square up 7% in a day. SPCE up almost 10% in a day. I mean, the other day, Alibaba was up like 30% in one day. And these giant moves present very rare opportunities in the market. So basically in this video, we're going to cover some of the best setups right now. So let's get right into it. With the first one, we have Square. This stock is a company that I own for the long term, but it is moving very, very well in the short term. We can see it just got destroyed over the past couple months, like many stocks did too. We can see Square was at $289 back in August of 2021, and just a couple weeks ago it was at like 83, and now it's at 124 and going higher by the minute. We can see if we go on an intraday view, it bounced off of that 100 support in just a crazy, amazing way. 100 is a giant support level. After that $100 level, the stock has also bounced off of that like $95 to like $93 zone. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But in terms of like resistance levels and points where the stock has struggled in the past, definitely check out like 125. That's exactly where we're at right now. And then if it breaks above that, the next level is 132. So those are like the 125 and 132 are like the next two most important levels to watch for Square. Square is an explosive company. They're growing a lot. I own them for the long term. Resistance is at after 132. We have resistance at 140 and 160. But overall, the stock is moving in a pretty awesome way, and it's looking pretty good. Also, this is actually really cool that I did not even annotate on the charts yet, but check this out. If we draw like some of these low points, we can see the low on February 24th was right around like $81 a share. So if we highlight that, that was one low. We can see the other low was right around like $95 a share. And then we get to see we are making higher lows, which typically is a bullish sign. We're also getting close to making higher highs. We can see a high right, we can see a high right here. And then a couple weeks ago, the high was in like the 115 zone. So overall, Square's looking pretty good, and it's definitely a company I like, especially for the long term. With the next one, we have Roblox. Roblox is up like 7% today. It is also one of those companies that fell a lot over the past couple months, but that was basically every stock over the past couple months. But either way, so Roblox is bouncing off of a gigantic support level right at $40 a share. Also like $35 a share. 40 and 35 are two giant levels psychologically, but also the stock just likes to bounce off of those levels, as we can see by looking at the chart. To the upside, though, you know, we have a tiny bit of resistance right at like $45.70, but nothing too major. The main resistance you'll want to watch out for is $50. That's a psychological level, and then it's also just where the stock has struggled breaking above in the past. So $50 is giant, and then there is a little bit more resistance right around $52.60. So be on the lookout for that. After that, the next major resistance is $60, and that's a very important level. Roblox has channeled between $60 and $70 in the past quite a bit, so 60 and 70 will be giant over the next couple months. So definitely keep that on your radar. But again, Roblox is one of those companies that was very hyped up a couple months ago, and it just got destroyed like many other companies. But at the end of the day, Roblox is still growing a lot as a company. They have a lot of hype with them, and they're not at a bad level, so check them out. With the next one, we have SPCE. I will say this one is probably the most speculative trade on this list. With that, it's probably going to be the most volatile, which can be good or bad. It just depends how you play it. But looking at SPCE, this stock had highs of around $57.50 a couple months ago. Right now, it's around $8.80. So we can see SPCE had a giant support level right at $6.75. The stock bounced off of that level in a major way in the past. There's also a little bit of support at $7.50, so keep an eye on those two levels for potential bounce points, we can say. Resistance or selling points is mainly at $9 and $10. These are both psychological levels as well, especially $10. That'll be huge. And then if we break above 10, we also have resistance at $11.28. But overall, SPCE is one of those stocks that are very volatile, which sometimes can be great, but sometimes it can really suck, because we can see back in May of 2021, this stock went from like $15 up to $57.50 over the course of like a month or two, but then it just went from $57.50 all the way down to like $7. So you got to be a little careful with this one. With the next play, we have Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. This stock is bouncing off of the $100 support level in an amazing way. It also has support at like $94 a share, but overall it's definitely bouncing to the upside. In terms of resistance, the main level to watch is right around 114. It has definitely struggled with this level in the past. We can see on February 24th, on March 2nd, on March 4th, on March 7th, on March 8th, it got rejected at 114. So definitely be on the lookout for like 114 as resistance. It really struggled with this level in the past. If we break above 114, the next major resistance is right around 135. But overall, Zoom is just one of those companies that has definitely been very volatile over the past couple of years. This stock was at $588 like a year and a half ago, and now it was just bouncing off of 100. So it's definitely a crazy one, and either way, it is one worth keeping on your radar because it has these awesome moves, and it can definitely provide a lot of great opportunity. With the next stock, we have Palantir. Palantir is up around 3.6% today. It's another very volatile stock. Palantir is bouncing off of that $10 level in a giant way. Right now, it's around $12.22 a share. Like I said, there's giant support at $10, but we're kind of far away from that at this point in time. We could see just by looking at the chart, we are making higher lows, which is a bullish sign. There were lows previously at like $10 or $9.50. And then we had lows at $10.50, and we're going to see where the next low is pretty soon. But overall, it's bouncing up in a pretty good way. I would say the next major support is right around, let's say right around $11.50 to like $11. There is a lot of support in that area. In terms of resistance, be on the lookout for $12.50. The stock has bounced off of that level a lot in the past. And then the next major resistance is around $14.50. So definitely keep Palantir on your radar. It's one of those volatile stocks, and it does move quite a bit. With the next stock, we have DraftKings. This one is up 2% today. Nothing crazy, but it is definitely in that rebound process. Over the past couple months, this stock went from like $60 all the way down to $15. It's a stock that I own for the long term, and it is one of my favorite companies to own for the long term. With that being said, it is looking pretty good in the short term, though. There's a giant support level right at 15, another giant support level right at 16, and then there's actually another support level right at 18. So definitely keep those levels for like support points. In terms of resistance, there's definitely an important level at $20 a share, and then another important level at $22 a share. Those are like the two most important right now. There's a little bit of resistance right at 21, but I would say 20 and 22 are the main levels. And then when we get to 24, that will be a very important resistance level. So keep that on your radar. 24 is going to be very giant. So keep an eye on it. But DraftKings has some good momentum right now. Yesterday, the stock did very, very, very well. Intraday, we can see there's a lot of buyers coming in. This is most likely a mixture of shorts covering and then people just realizing that the stock's at a pretty good price point. So keep an eye on DraftKings. With the next one, we have Alibaba. This stock is really going crazy. Alibaba is down around 5% today, but yesterday it was up like 30%. So this stock is booming to the upside. Some great news came out of China related to their US listed companies. and all China stocks are booming. Alibaba is actually a company that is doing very well fundamentally, and the stock went from 319 all the way down to 80, and now it's all the way back at 100. So it's a volatile one. It's a little risky. It has its own unique risks, but overall it's at a decent level, and we are just straddling that $100 mark. $100 is a giant support level and resistance level. It acts as both of them, and we're just like going back and forth right at that point. So keep an eye on it. A lot of buyers and sellers come in at $100, and that's exactly why we're seeing this interesting like push and pull effect at that price point right now. So keep it on your radar. 100 is a giant level for both support and resistance. 95 is big for support, and then even 90 is pretty big for support too. In terms of resistance, check out 105, 110, 115, and then 118. Those are important levels to keep on your radar. With the next stock, we have CrowdStrike, CRWD. This stock is up around 7% today. It's right around that $200 level, but it is booming. We can see CrowdStrike over the past couple of days, it has been extremely volatile. There's giant support, or there was giant support at 160, but we're pretty far above that at this point. So the next most important levels to watch for the upcoming setup, watch $200. It's a giant support level. There's also a lot of support at 190. We can see that we are making higher lows, which is a bullish sign. We could see lows originally around like 155, and you could even see the same thing around like 160 to 162. Now we're seeing lows around 180 to 185. So it's definitely moving up. In terms of resistance, I'll get the chart loaded in a second. But let me just do this really quickly. So we can see, like I said, the stock right now is at like $202.73. There is some resistance right around $205.68. That will be important. And then after that, the next major level is right around like 215 to 216. But the stock's definitely moving up, and over the past couple of months, it fell from like 300 all the way down to 160, and now it's on the way back up. So keep it on your radar. But I just want to emphasize with all of these stocks, do not just blindly buy into these setups. Do your research. I own some of these companies for the long term. Some of them are some of my favorite stocks that I own for the long term, like Square, Zoom, DraftKings, and some of the other ones. But guys, don't just blindly buy into these stocks. Make sure the setups are good. Make sure the market is moving up. I will say this is very important. Over the past couple of days, a lot of stocks have blasted up, but that is also partly due to the fact that the market itself has been exploding up. So if you're looking for a breakout trade to the upside, you want to see the market moving up. If the market's crashing down like it was the other day like this, it's going to be very hard for the stocks you're looking at to move up. So it's when you're playing these breakouts, you want to see the market overall lifting these stocks higher. That's very important. So keep that in mind. And then I just want to look at one other thing really quickly and some other important things. I will say the best way to play all of these setups, in my opinion, is the use of shares. Options right now are quite expensive, and when you're buying expensive options, it's hard to consistently make a profit because the options are just overpriced in a lot of cases. So I will say shares are definitely the way to go. And then in terms of setups right now, I want to go back to the dot-com bubble for just 1 second. This is a chart of Amazon during the dot-com bubble. It went from like $4 up to $113, and then went from $113 down to $6. Amazon, the powerhouse stock today that's trading for over $3,000, went from $113 down to $6. And a lot of the other growth stocks / growth setups that we're seeing in the market right now also had horrible falls. Now, I will say this, Amazon didn't just go from 113 down to 6 and then magically back up to 113 over the course of a month or two. It took years to recover. And that's kind of what I'm expecting with most of these growth stocks. We could see Amazon from its lows, it went from $6 up to $60 over the course of a year or so, but then to fully get back to its .com level highs, that didn't happen until, let's see, that did not happen until like 2009, which is kind of crazy to think about. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is don't just be buying some of these stocks at the lows thinking that they're magically going to return back to their, you know, all-time high in like a couple months. Like, it can take time, and that's why I'm strongly encouraging people to use shares instead of options for especially long-term trades right now, because it gives you unlimited time and it gives you like real equity in the company. So if you go like deep in the money with options, it could be different, but shares would definitely be ideal. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I post brand new videos every single day, and let me know what breakout stocks I missed. I know there's a bunch of them out there. I know a lot of people are looking at some great setups, so, you know, share what setups you're watching in the comments down below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.